We're live. We're live.
Hello, and welcome to the Paddle and Fin podcast, where we finally got through our technical difficulties. Happy birthday, you listeners. It's been 1 year. Thanks for joining us. This is definitely a milestone. I guess I should say I'm your host, Brian, and along with me this evening is...
Jay.
And Jason, double J.
And tonight, you guys, we got an epic, jam-packed episode. We got all kinds of guests. Right now, we got our man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only, the river slayer, the guy that's rocking the new canoe, Mr. J.D. DeRosier. Welcome back, my friend.
Thanks for having me again, and thanks for the kind words.
Absolutely, brother, man. I miss you. So we're glad to have you back. And dude, it's been crazy, man. It's been a year, and we kind of wanted to start this out with what was your favorite moment from being on the podcast? What did you take away from that? When you were on, it was February, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. What was your favorite thought from that episode, you think?
Oh man, I just love being able just to share our stories because, me and you and Jay, we just bounced the whole podcast and show off of each other, and I thought that was really cool. How it was an open forum, and it was just like old friends sitting around a campfire hanging out.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. We get that from a lot of guests, I guess you haven't met one of our new co-hosts, Mr. Jason Ricketts. Jason?
What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man? Hey,
I think we're actually we're Facebook buddies, man. Like a lot of us are, but I'm looking forward to meeting you. I heard a lot about you, man. Brian and Jay have talked you up. So
nice to finally meet you.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you what, man, if you're ever in South Carolina, you hook up with JD, he'll take you to the best Chipotle restaurant in town.
Man. So is that true about South Carolina? There's South Carolina and North Carolina. There's a huge barbecue war between the two. Like they have two different styles of barbecue. Is that a thing?
Oh yeah, for sure. South Carolina is definitely known for vinegar-based barbecue, and North Carolina is more of like a mustard-based barbecue sauce. But me personally, I just love barbecue. I don't care where it comes from. And I actually smoked a Boston butt today. So, yeah,
nice.
That's cool you brought that up.
I'm a huge barbecue dude, man. I do it all, 3-2-1 ribs, brisket, barbecue, or pork butt, pork belly. You got it all, man. I love it.
Man, it sounds delicious.
We got our man Walton Doyle in the chat. He said JD is good people. I think he knows what's up,
Walton,
JD.
what's up, brother? Yeah, that's one of my boys from Georgia. He's good people, buddy. Man.
Yeah, he's a good angler, man. Good stick.
Yep.
So obviously you're in a new boat this year. You're rocking the new canoe Flint. How you liking it? What do you think, man? What's the thoughts? Let the good people know.
I absolutely love it. I needed a boat that performed for me better in the rivers. I make my home in the rivers. I paddle up to class 2+, and I wanted a boat that could ferry across moving water really, really well, and that I could eddy out quickly and hit different pockets for smallmouth or trout or largemouth or whatever.
Sure.
But the boat, the way it slices and cuts through the water and paddles with ease is remarkable. I took it down to Savannah and ran the I took it to Augusta and ran the Savannah Rapids. And that was my first test on moving water with the boat. And I was shocked. I did fall out of the boat because I wasn't used to it. And I was trying to be Mr. Cool Guy and surf a wave and eddy out and cross current, and the cross current hit me, and I did fall out. But the boat didn't flip, so I was pleased. I knew it was my fault. And the more I'm in it, the more I'm getting used to it. And yeah, it's been a blast.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't paddled the Flint personally. I've paddled the Pursuit and the Frontier 12, but I mean, the new canoe platform overall is pretty slick, man. I mean, if you're looking for some stability and stuff, but I've always heard good things about the Flint being an awesome little riverboat, So,
I like it because it can, it can perform well in all aspects. And you can throw the new pivot drive on it.
yeah.
I think my favorite thing about new is just simplicity, and you
Sure.
can customize the boats any way you want it, any way you want to. I keep mine pretty simple. If I'm on the lake behind the house or a lake, I'll throw the Flint console on and load up the Rave Marine Element and do that. But 95% of the time, that whole setup, the whole console sitting in the garage.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely will go to a Pursuit for bigger water and probably put the pivot drive on that and deck it out with the Rave Marine. And that'll be primarily my saltwater boat.
How do you like your Rave Marine? The Element's making a huge splash in the kayak fishing world right now because of their imaging. I mean, I'm seeing, I've seen images where you can actually see the bait fish moving in the water, and then the predator fish come up to it. You know what I mean? It's absolutely astonishing. Have you been able to dial it in like that?
Yeah, so I turned the one thing that I had to learn was turn the brightness down on the unit. That way it can run off the Naqua battery all day long. But yeah, I've seen some pretty phenomenal images. I'm caught up in the 3D technology of it. I know where there's some pretty good and spin it around. You can see if what side the fish are actually on of the structure. Pretty slick, and it's a good price point.
Yeah, no doubt. It's phenomenal, especially in today. So the new Canoe Flint, does it have? I'm not too familiar with the boat, but I believe the seats are on a track system, right? And it goes, forward and aft. Is that correct? And does it spin 360 or only part of the way, or not at all?
So it is on a track system. It's actually a really long track system. And then the 360 is an option that you can upgrade your seat to. So you can do 360, you can do 360 lock, and you can do quick release. So you can just grab the base, and the base will stay on, and you slide the top of your seat off.
Oh, right on.
Good for loading and unloading really quick.
Good deal.
But yeah.
So where are you mounting that thing? Is it off to the side or like in the middle? Like in the front?
So the transducer, I'm using the Yak Attack sling blade for the transducer, and then the unit itself's on the console, and I have the battery mounted up underneath the console and the cell block by Yak Attack. And it's a real nice, clean setup. It took me a minute to figure out exactly how I wanted to do it, but overall it come out pretty nice.
That's cool.
I dig it, man. I dig it. So I saw some pictures today. You slammed some beautiful trout. Where was that at?
I was about 20 miles from Toccoa, Georgia. I was within about 5 miles of the North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia state lines yesterday.
Okay.
I try to go up there about once a month or so, and I grew up trout fishing with my grandpa.
Yeah.
So it takes me back to my roots when I'm walking the rivers, and I love it to death. Yeah, we got on them pretty hard. My buddy was very fortunate, and he got in a hole, and he just wouldn't leave the hole. He's like, man, I can't leave. The fishing's too good. And I walked down river and come back, and I was like, man, are you okay? I've been gone like half hour. Are you good? He's like, yeah, man, come over here. And I went over there. I was fishing opposite side of the river of him and doing well.
Sure.
But I went over there with him, and then no more than 5 minutes of being there, he was like, man, get your net. And he got all excited. And he had a huge 20 1/4-inch brown on. And
wow.
I was able to, I netted it for him, so I was glad I could help out. But it was pretty. You guys come back down. We'll definitely go, because it's only about an hour or so from my house, and we can. Every time I go, we crush them usually.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I know Jay and I have talked about making our way back down there to get out on the water with you, man. And
For
I know
sure.
that's something we didn't get a chance to do with you the last time we were down. And yeah, we were thinking we'll wait till it gets cold up here and it's still warm down there and head back down.
Yeah. I mean,
That's funny.
we should be able to wet wade all the way to the end of October, and
Nice.
we'll be able to hit the swamps and the local rivers, into November. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it'll be good. We can go after largemouth, trout, smallmouth. We can head to the swamp and catch some bowfin and some big, huge.
Oh, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, the bowfins are amazing. Just throw a Z-Man chatterbait out there, and they'll annihilate it.
Still have never gotten one of those.
I caught one time up in Wisconsin on Lake Geneva, actually, and it was something else, man. It's not a fish you normally see up here, which is crazy, So
I saw that muskie you caught the other day. That was a beauty.
yeah, buddy. Yeah, dude, it was crazy. If you guys haven't seen it, we posted a picture on the Instagram, but it was Father's Day, and my old man's a bigger dude, and without a bigger boat, can't really get out fishing with him. And with the new innovation from Jackson Kayak and Blue Sky Boat Works, I was able to get him on the water. And I put him in the Blue Sky, and I took a demo Jackson Tues out, and I'm dragging a shaky head with a diamond tail worm on it, and all of a sudden, man, it just boom, boom, hits, and I tried lifting that fish, and it was like lifting a log, and I saw it flash. I don't know if we talked about this on the last podcast or not, but saw the thing flash, and I'm like, that's a muskie. I had some choice words, and my old man's like, oh yeah, get it. And so then I didn't bring a net because we were bass fishing. I've never caught a muskie on my home lake before. I know they're in there, but I've never personally caught one. And get it to the boat, man, get it in. It ended up catching a tooth on my thumb, and it was pretty incredible that him and I were able to share that moment, man. It's going to be an epic Father's Day moment for many, many years to come. So it was really, really cool, man. I don't even know what to say, but that fish, man, it's something else, man. I know why guys chase them. They're crazy little fish, man. But yeah, it was definitely an epic little event there, man. So yeah, it was cool.
That's killer, man.
So, but so we got some stuff to give away. So this is I haven't told the other two this yet. So what I'm thinking is we're gonna have our guests pick the winner. So Mr. JD Rosier is gonna pick a winner for this. And if you guys have been following, we posted some stuff this week on Instagram and Facebook about what your favorite episode was from this past year. And, we've been so blessed by the vast variety of guests we've had over this past year, and the stories we've all shared and things like that. So we wanted you guys to share back with us what you really enjoyed about it. And I'm just going to pick a couple of these, and then we'll let JD pick. And should we do like one of the big prizes? And the reason why I'm thinking this is, JD's on the Werner Paddles team. Should we give that one away with JD? I think so.
I think it could work.
Yeah.
So we got a Werner Paddles lever lock angler paddle, carbon shaft, fiberglass blades to give away.
The big boy.
It's a big one.
Woo!
So let's do this. RBM Yak Bassin on Instagram said definitely JD episode was super interesting and kind of relatable because he's in South Carolina and he was on the Bonafide team. Or we got J Marsh Fishing. His favorite episode is when we announced that we were coming to Ohio, because we have a bigger family than we realize over there in the Buckeye State. You'll see how good of a decision it was going out to Ohio. Your biggest fan resides in Ohio, and that's him. He said, thanks again, and here's to 100 episodes. Or we got Chest Rockwell 80 on Instagram. For him, his favorite episode was Drew Gregory. Lots of good information. Thanks all you guys do and put into the show. His real name's Brian Shaw. So, JD, are you going to pick the guy that liked the other River episode, the Ohio guy, or the guy that liked the JD episode? The pressure's on, my friend. JD's like, you put me in a messed up situation, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, when you
man.
answer that question, do any of these guys have any of your favorite fishing spots memorized? Because if you pick the wrong dude, they're going to burn you.
And none of them should. They're kind of spread out. So
All right, then proceed.
I'm gonna say I don't know. Let's pick the guy from Ohio.
boom,
There
Justin
it is.
Marshall. You got a new Werner paddle coming your way, my friend.
Dang, son.
Damn. That's how
Justin
that goes.
Marshall.
JD, thanks for participating in that little giveaway for us.
Yeah, thank you. Shoot,
What we'll
showing the
do-
Werner love.
What we'll do,
Brad, send Justin. Is Justin watching? Anybody can see him? If not, tell him to hop on and get involved in that.
what we'll
needs to
do for the other two guys is we will send them Werner paddle hats.
Yeah, that
Nice.
sounds fair.
So there we go.
Those
Everybody's
are
winning.
stick
now.
hats.
So, hey, man, we appreciate you taking the time out tonight. We apologize that it took so long this evening. But, man, it's good to see you. Good to talk to you again, man. And we can't wait to get down there and get on the water with you. And vice
Absolutely.
versa. If you're ever up north, you hit me up, brother. I got
You
a
know
spare,
it. You
spare
know it.
bedroom, and I got a whole warehouse full of new canoes for you to paddle. So there we go, man. Hey,
no,
JD,
no
man.
exaggeration.
Yeah, no exaggeration at all, man. We're a huge new canoe dealer up here at Rocktown Adventures, man. So anytime
Nice.
you're up
We
in-
appreciate the love.
heck yeah, man. Anytime you're up here, you let us know. But yeah, man, we'll catch you on the next one. And
Yeah.
if you got anything coming up, man, like we said, you got any big announcements or big things coming up, let us know, man. We'll definitely get you back on the podcast and get the word out for you, brother.
Thank you, guys. That's good
Yeah.
to see all of you. And I wish you all tight lines and thank you for the opportunity. And here's to many more years for you guys in the podcast.
Thanks, man. Much
Thanks, JD.
appreciated,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah,
Nice meeting
cheers.
you, brother. Take care, man.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Yep.
See you,
Bye-bye.
JD.
All right.
All right. Who
That
are we
was
going to bring
awesome.
on next? That was awesome, man.
Yeah,
That's,
JD's such a good cat. Congrats to Justin Marshall. I see we got Austin from Southern Lake Co. in the comments here viewing. Sam Jones, what's up, brother? That's my man from Indiana. One of my
Oh,
KBF Central Division
We get
competitors.
Justin Marshall's like, woohoo!
Yeah.
Like, my
But yeah, that's kick ass, man.
Justin's in the comments. I see him, so he's here. Congrats to you, brother. That's a huge win. That's how much is that paddle worth? $400?
Just over $300 retail, man. Just
Wow.
over $300. So
Dude, that's a smoking giveaway.
yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, so why don't we bring on Ryan Milford? Ryan's a listener. He's from Tennessee. He's got some stuff coming up here. We asked him to be on the podcast. So why don't you pull Ryan up?
All right. I'm bringing him on, and he should be live right about now.
What's up,
Can y'all
Ryan?
hear me?
Yes, sir. How's it
What's
going,
going on?
brother?
All right.
How you doing?
Man, I'm making it.
Yeah.
Just off work the next 2 weeks, so gonna try to get some fishing in.
Heck yeah,
Nice.
buddy. Heck yeah, man. Thanks for joining us tonight, man. I know
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I know we've had some interaction on social media, and me and you have been talking. You got some exciting stuff coming up that you're working on, and so we just wanted to kind of rattle your brain and see what maybe your favorite memory from this past year has been with the Paddle and Fin podcast, man.
Well, truth be told, I only found y'all about 3 months ago, but I went back quite a ways, like listening to past episodes, because I'm able to listen to them while I'm at work. So for 8 hours a day, I'm listening to podcasts. Man,
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, brother.
Well, yeah, we
it
did.
would have been fine if I wasn't so nervous right now.
Don't be nervous, man.
Oh,
It's
man.
only live, dude. It's only live, millions of people.
Yeah, right.
I mean, 8.
Favorite episode.
I heard the guy from
You can
Blue
say
Sky
DJ
Boat
Red
was
one.
pretty awesome.
We both did the same thing, dude.
Well, let's do this. Let's do this.
I'll tell you what. Probably one of my favorite episodes, now that I think about it, is probably the episode where you were talking about the tournament you were fishing, where you dropped your phone in the water.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's got to be that episode.
It's a classic.
But only because I'm still pretty new to kayak fishing.
Yeah, man.
And I've yet to fish a tournament, but I'm getting to the point where I'm about ready to fish one. And so hearing that, I'm learning from your mistakes. So I'm like, okay, I need to get something to be able to attach my phone to the kayak so I don't lose mine.
Hey, man,
And,
you know what? That's perfect. That is the most perfect answer. And the reason why is, we started the podcast in general because, when me and Scott started it, we made a lot of mistakes getting into the, podcast game, so to speak, or podcast game, the kayak fishing game, so to speak. And, because we made those mistakes, we wanted to start a podcast for other guys that were like us and were making mistakes, and hoping that we could all share our experiences and help somebody like yourself who's new to it not make those same mistakes. I'm glad that my $1,000 iPhone mistake helped you out and made you realize some stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
But you know what? It's funny, man. Like, is a pain in the butt that was in the FLW KBF tournament, losing your phone on day one when you're on fish. Such a pain, dude. Such a pain. But now that I look back at it, and so many guys have mentioned that it made them realize, hey, man, I should have my phone tethered, or they've looked at something to tether their phone. We got another guy coming on a little bit later, Mr. Brad Hicks, and he posted a photo, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and he was talking about that exact thing. And he posted a leash for his phone, and I was like, that's definitely a necessity. Hope I taught you something. And he's like, this is exactly why I ordered it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was a dumb mistake on my part, rookie mistake. Because, and if you guys haven't seen, if you watch Chad Hoover's vlog from day one in the FLW KBF Nickajack event, I'm actually in there talking about losing my phone. And I'm like, I told my wife, and I think I told Jay and Jason that, it was cool to be on Chad Hoover's vlog, but at the same time, I wish it was for a completely different reason, like holding up a big check or something. But I'm glad that they put that in there, just because it's something that some guys don't think of, man. And, I've definitely made some changes. My phone's obviously leashed to my life jacket at all times. And, that's cool that you brought that up. So I much appreciate that because, that's just what Paddle and Fin's all about. And, it's cool to see that the whole reason why we started this podcast and we're 1 year later, the reasoning is in full effect, so to speak. So, I mean, I don't know what you other two think about that, but I think it's cool, man. So,
Yeah, I think it was a good learning experience for everyone else on your dime.
yeah. Hey, see what I do for our podcast listeners, man.
You're so brave.
Yeah. But it's definitely cool, man. But not only that, but we were talking through conversation, and you're in the process of starting up your own podcast, you said, which I thought was really cool. And we got another listener that recently, two listeners that started their podcast, and it's Ohio based and stuff like that. And then you were telling me this, and it's kind of cool, man, because a lot of guys would be like, "Oh, aren't you worried about it? You're in competition." No, I'm not worried about it at all. It's creating more content for the kayak fishing community. And again, like I hope it's not $1,000 cell phone mistake, but I hope you make mistakes and you can relate that to your future listeners, so they don't make the same thing. So with that being said, have you come up with a name for your podcast? Like, what's it going to be about? You got any thoughts, ideas you want to share with us, or is it all top secret right now?
No, actually, earlier today, I recorded and edited the first episode, and I just published it like 7:00 tonight. So
Nice.
I don't.
Nice.
I'm not sure how long it takes to actually. I think it's already on Spotify. I don't know how long it takes to get on Apple Podcasts, but it's called Bass Fishing for Noobs.
Okay.
And basically, what it's about is I've been bass fishing for about 6 years. I grew up fishing catfish, crappie, all with live bait, no artificial baits. And about 6 years ago, I started bass fishing using artificial baits, and I've not had great luck with it. Like, I still kind of suck, but
hey, man.
But
you're on the water enjoying yourself. That's all that matters, brother.
Well, yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love going out there, especially when you finally do get that tug on the line. But basically, what my podcast is going to be about is I'm going to be interviewing people that are good fishermen and stuff, and trying to get tips and tricks from them, and just get pointers from them, and try to become a better fisherman myself. And I was like, I had the idea of starting a podcast in my head, but I didn't have a clue how to go about it. So it's actually thanks to y'all for advertising Anchor. Like, that made it so easy for me to get it started.
Yeah, Anchor. I found Anchor, a little over a year ago, and I tell you what, man. If anybody's out there and they want to get in the podcast game, it's really cool because it does all the distributing for you. It makes editing and uploading and everything like that super easy. And any Joe Schmo, including myself, I'm including myself in that Joe Schmo comment, can do it. And it's just cool, man. You can start a conversation and, start a little community. Here we call it a family. It's pretty cool to see some of our listeners starting their own thing and where it's going and what it's become, for sure. So super cool.
Yeah. I just went brain dead. I don't remember what I was going to say.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
But yeah, it is cool. Like, it's super easy app to operate and stuff. But
so did you got a Facebook and an Instagram page for your new podcast?
I've got a Facebook page that I set up. I don't have Instagram, but I haven't done that yet because I don't even have Instagram. But I was like, I probably need to set that up if I'm going to get serious about this. But,
yeah, Instagram's a good
I know
outlet.
a lot of people are on there.
Yeah, man. And that's just bass fishing noobs?
Bass fishing for noobs.
For noobs.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Very cool, man.
No,
Very
you're good. You're all good.
So we're going to do like we did with JD, man. We're going to make you pick a winner of our next prize for this giveaway for our 1 year anniversary. You down for that?
Yeah, man.
All right. So
Can I pick
I'm gonna
myself?
you can pick yourself. I mean,
no, I was just playing.
no. I'm gonna pull these ones from the Facebook page post. What do we want to give away on this one, guys? Pair of coyotes.
Polarized
Do it.
floating sunglasses.
Pair of coyote polarized floating sunglasses. So you got the choice between Zach Carell. His favorite episode was the Christine Fisher episode. She's one awesome angler. Russell Fields said, so far I've liked all the shows. Keep it up. Or Alan Beckner, pre-tournament preparation. He's looking to try some tournaments sometime soon and he felt that those episodes had some good info for him. And the one about intro to kayak fishing, because I mentioned his dad and their predators that they bought from Rocktown up here in northern Illinois. So I'll let you pick out of Zach, Russell, or Alan.
You
We need the Jeopardy music.
I know.
right. So you say Alan was the one that said the prepping for tournaments?
Yeah.
Well, just because I'm kind of in that same situation, let's go with him.
Boom. Alan Beckner, shoot us a message, brother. We're going to send you a pair of coyote sunglasses, my friend. So,
They're pretty sick. Any sunglasses that doesn't sink into the drink is a plus to me. Coyote is
I lost a pair not long ago, so I know how that is.
Yeah.
Did you replace them yet?
Yeah, they were just cheapos. They were like $5 Walmart sunglasses, but
I was hoping you were going to tell me they were $1,000 sunglasses, and you figured out a leash to keep them on your head. Damn.
They actually do make those, the little bands that go around.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. I should probably get those for my Costas because that'll be the next thing going in the drink since I already dropped my damn phone in the water.
You get that blue sky, it'll give you a little bit bigger platform from the fall on, man.
Yeah. That's exactly why I need a blue sky, so that way I don't drop anything off the side of the boat. But very cool, man. Hey, Ryan, thank you so much for jumping on with us tonight. You guys, listeners out there, please go check out his new podcast, Bass Fishing for Noobs. And
I appreciate. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, man, if you ever need any help or anything with your podcast, man, feel free to reach out, man. We'd be more than happy to help you out, brother.
Absolutely. If you need guests, if you want guests, man, hit us up.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll definitely take that.
Absolutely.
But I appreciate y'all having me on and letting me plug that and whatnot. But congratulations on 1 year.
Thanks, man.
And hopefully many more years to come.
We're hoping so. That's if me, Jay, and Jason don't kill each other, but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
I'm just waiting for them to convert you over to Jackson.
Yeah,
it's in the works. It's in the works.
That's what I thought
starting to rub off.
Was going to be.
You know what? I gotta say that.
Went out
I gotta say that on here, man. It was kind of flattering that, and I think I said that on the last episode that so many guys thought I was jumping on Blue Sky, but. Yeah, I got a blue sky in the works, but I'm not. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'll leave it at that. But
he's going to get void over that bona fide tramp stamp he's got. And it's
dude,
Jackson right above it.
Freaking tramp stamp, bro. Oh man!
Oh,
one of these.
You guys
days.
ever seen that dude on Facebook? He's real popular on Facebook and YouTube. Is Catfish Cooley? I mean, everybody knows it. So he's got that tattoo. Had that woman's name, and over it said "Void" across. Shout out to Catfish Cooley. You're a great dude, man. That was the best.
That's so funny. Oh man.
All right, Ryan, it was a pleasure, brother. You take care of yourself.
Take it easy, man.
Fellas.
We'll see you,
Have a
Ryan.
good one.
See you, Ryan.
You too, brother.
Good luck with the cast.
That's
All
crazy,
right.
man.
That
Let's
is
hit
funny.
let's hit some comments here real quick.
He's
I just
coming
see
to
him,
Ohio to show the tramp stamp.
I just see him
Yeah.
popping up. Rodney Hicks, what's up, brother? I got to email you. Sam Jones, previous guest. Frankie Briggs. Richie Lockery. My wife thought you said kayak fishing for nudes. No,
Nudes.
noobs. Sorry, bro.
Hey, Justin Marshall, we'll make that happen, man. One time when we're down here fishing, actually at the Cowan Lake meetup, if you want to try out the blue sky, you jump on mine. I'll let you pedal it for a while. No problem.
Justin Marshall, good dude, man.
For sure. I heard a lot of good things about him. I got Frankie Briggs in the comment section there.
Yeah, he's a goofy character.
Smallmouth Frankie.
He's a goofy character, but I like him.
I heard he just crushes the smallmouth though.
He does, man, and he lives like 45 minutes from me, and I'm like, hey, man, when we going fishing? Oh yeah, we'll go. I think he just doesn't want to share a spot.
Secret squirrel. That's funny.
So, who else we got coming up here on the next guest spot?
I think
Well-
we need to go ahead and go ahead, Jay.
Well, I was going to say, I want to get an honorary mention of Mr. Drew Gregory. We were going to have him on today.
Yeah.
He unfortunately is sick, but he does appreciate the comments about his episode being one of your favorites and everything. So you just want to say hi to everybody, and we'll get him back on here one of these days when he's feeling a little better.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Drew's a
man.
good dude. We hope he feels better.
Yeah, I reached out to Jay and I was like, hey, man, you got to get Drew to pop back on, even if it's for a couple minutes. And, and unfortunately, we got the news that he was sick. Drew is, we're a huge fan of his, and he's a huge fan of ours, and we can't thank him enough what he's done for us, for sure. So, but we got Josh Eldridge coming up next.
Yeah, let's bring him up. Josh
Let's
Eldridge
bring
from
him up.
Loveland Canoe and Kayak. We're going to go ahead and get him in here. All right. Josh,
What's up,
how's it
fellas?
going, buddy?
What's up, brother?
Good.
What's up?
How's it going?
Good. Yourself?
Doing good. I'm doing this podcast from my truck because I got yelled at by my wife.
So you're in the office.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish I could say this was the first time we had a podcast from the truck, but the first time that happened was with Alex Folgaria, and I think he had some issues with connection, so he went out and sat in the truck so he could get a clear signal.
Yeah.
So,
I wish that was the truth. My wife just said I was too loud and it was echoing everywhere. So-
yeah, that's funny, man.
I've been there. I've been there.
So we've heard many bad things about you from Jason Ricketts. So I want to hear the good stuff.
That's not even correct.
You're on the Loveland Canoe and Kayak team.
Yes,
What boat are you floating out of, my man?
I have a 2015 Coosa HD.
Boom, man. We got some Jackson love tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
What are you
That's a
pulling
good
that with?
boat.
What's that?
I said, what are you hauling that around on?
I have a Malone Microsport, and my wife, we bought both of our kayaks at the same time from Loveland Canoe and Kayak, and she's got a Cruise 10. And at the time, I owned a Jeep Wrangler, and so obviously trying to top two of those kayaks are pretty wide was not really feasible. So we ended up getting a trailer through Mark also. So
Nice.
if I'm rolling solo a lot of times to the lake, so I'll just put it in the back of the truck. It's a lot easier to deal with. But anytime I'm going on a river trip, it's always great to have it because then we could get 3 boats usually in the truck and everybody's gear. So I'm looking to turn it into 4, be able to carry 4 soon. So
Nice. You said a Malone trailer?
yeah.
Yakima's better, bro. Just saying.
We have Jackson and Bonafide War now, and now we're gonna have Malone and Yakima.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
No, that's cool, man. I had a guy call the shop today, man. He was looking to haul around 4 kayaks, and I'm like, man, it's either Malone or Yakima. That's your only 2 choices, you know. Both great trailers.
Great trailers.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. So you're out in Ohio, obviously, and what's your favorite body of water to fish out there, my man?
I'm a big Great Miami River fisherman, so I like fishing rivers a lot. It's kind of where I started fishing for bass, was wade fishing.
Sure.
And a couple of years later, I got my kayak, and the GMR is great for big fish, but like Ricketts and I have talked about, if you want to experience and you want the scenery, the Little Miami River is a good way to go. So it's kind of, they're both luckily local for me. They're not very far away, and so we're pretty blessed down here, man. We've got 4 to 5 rivers just immediately, like within probably half an hour of where I live. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, I know Ricketts has been talking up that, Little Miami and the Miami River to us, and we're hoping to be able to float it when we get out there. I know you guys have been just like completely devastated by rain lately.
Oh yeah,
crazy. So, yeah, has the rivers come down out there, or still high?
No, we had another storm that just rolled through probably around 7:00 tonight in the area. It didn't hit where I live, but it probably dumped some rain on the rivers, and so our rivers are pretty long. So if it rains like an hour or 2 north of me, and within probably a day or so, everything just rises real crazy down south towards where like Jason lives and stuff. It's
we
pretty
got
crazy.
We got hammered big time. It was like 5:30, 6:00. It was torrential rain again.
Man, if you guys haven't seen like that whole stretch, like southern Indiana, southern Ohio, what parts of Pennsylvania and stuff have just been getting pounded by rain and just totally underwater, and it's a bummer, man. It's a bummer.
Yeah, ours are finally just coming down over here.
You're lucky. We got probably 10 days before it's maybe normal again. And then, all the liveries, we have a bunch of liveries that are up and down the Little Miami River, and they're hurting right now too. Obviously.
Sure. Yeah. That's a bummer, man.
So what do you like? Go ahead.
No, you go.
What do you like to fish for, Josh? What's your species?
Smallmouth bass, man.
That's your favorite?
Yep. I got introduced by a friend of mine, Nick, about 9 years ago. We used to catfish and carp fish in the ponds and some of the small bodies of water around in the area. And he's like, hey, man, you want to go try wade fishing? And I said, sure. I went out and got a little setup, a little ugly stick with a little loose carbon fiber. And I think I caught a 16 and a half on my first trip. And since then, I haven't looked back, man.
Nice.
It's, and I remember joining on the Ohio Game Fishing Forum, and I started reading everybody with kayaks, and I was like, dude, I need one of those, because it gets you places where other people aren't. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So a lot of people throw a lot of different stuff in the rivers, man. What's your go-to? What do you like to throw? What are you consistent with?
My most confident bait would have to be a Kitech 3.8. This year, I've really excelled with the white one. I think it's due to how dirty the water is. And normally I'll throw a lot of natural colors, but this year I keep buying packs and packs of the white ice one.
Nice.
So.
Nice.
What's that? What color was that again?
White. I knew you'd like that.
It's such a great color.
It is.
I've
learned, with the river levels this year, with them being up, I've actually probably learned more in the river than I have previously. Like the behavior of smallmouth in the rivers this year, with them being so high, they're holding really, really tight to grass or even in like clearings in the grass.
Sure.
And that white bait, normally I would kind of jig it. This year I've been throwing it and I'll burn it like a crankbait and pause. and they're actually picking up, on it fairly well when I fish it like that. So
Nice. Jay likes the white swim bait.
Just a little bit.
Sometimes he catches fish, but
you know what? I make an effort not to even use it, and then I find myself going right to it, and then you know what? That's the thing that starts catching fish.
yeah. I have to say, man, the first time I think I started throwing an all white swim bait was when Jay and I went up to the Madison chain and just slaughtered them in the rain. But
oh yeah, it was a great day.
Mr. Sam Jones wants to know, why do you think they are holding to the grass?
I would have to say the grass is acting like a filter, and it's producing oxygen. With as much garbage as in the water right now, it's kind of sad to see. The places I've gotten out, some of the areas collect trash real bad. So I think the other day I actually got out of my boat, and you could kind of tell that the grass does work as a filter. As I walked through the grass, you could see the dirt falling off of it because the water was kind of clearer in the grassy areas, and you could see the dirt and like mud kind of fall off the grass and recloud all the surrounding water everywhere.
Gotcha. Interesting. So are you going to be at our Ohio meetup, my man?
I will, for sure.
Yeah, buddy. That's
You
what
gonna
I'm
camp out?
for.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
Are you gonna sleep in Ricketts' tent?
No, I can't sleep in. I can't.
No.
I cannot sleep in a tent with anybody else, really, man. I'll have a lot of trouble sleeping, so I have my own tent.
I heard that Ricketts is a goofy character. I wouldn't sleep in a tent with him either.
He's like, when he said he likes spoons, he didn't mean lures.
Oh man.
Oh, that's too funny. So I know you were in the lobby and kind of watching this whole thing unfold. So we're gonna have you pick a winner. I think this one will do $25 Tackle Warehouse gift card. That work for you guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So we got Kevin Gregani. His favorite episode was about Save Your Rods. He said, even if I don't have one yet, it made me more conscious of losing a rod to the lake gods. Luke Coffey, we met him at our Tennessee meetup. He said he really enjoys every episode. He doesn't get out as much as he'd like, but he tries to kind of live vicariously through all of us and our guests. But he said he'd probably have to say Mr. Drew Gregory episode was one of his favorites. And then let's see. Need one more. Cowboy Tennessee 1 on Instagram. I like the March 5th episode because that was the first one he listened to. He said he loves the podcast and appreciates all the knowledge that we're putting into all the new guys to the sport. So, got Cowboy and the other two.
I'll have to pick the last one, introducing the new guys to the sport.
Okay.
That's kind of I've had people do that for me, and it's become a passion. So
Sure.
The more word we can get out there and share this with everybody, I think the better.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Cowboy Tennessee 1 on Instagram. Boom. Tackle Warehouse gift card coming at you, courtesy of Mr. Joshua Eldridge.
So Josh, you have something you kind of wanted to announce too, right? Something you rounded up on behalf of Loveland Canoe and Kayak. Is that right?
I did. I talked with the guys from the team, man, and we wanted to do a giveaway with you guys.
Okay.
So what I kind of did was talk to everybody and got a list of what their favorite baits were. They're like number one go-to bait. So I got some tackleware and I threw some other stuff in here as well. So we've got a bunch of stuff sitting here, probably $50 to $75 worth of tackle.
Oh, snap.
So I don't know if you guys want to know anything specific, I know I
Sure.
got.
Toss it up. Let's see it. Let's see what you
All
collect.
right. So here we go. We got Jay's favorite
Nice.
and Kitech, and then we've got Ricketts' favorite, Duty Brown.
I love that
Nice.
color.
All right. So then we had Nate. Nate's one of our awesome sales dudes. He fishes too, and he's really into the black and blue. He said skipping jig. I couldn't find him, so I got this pro model Strike King jig in 3/8 black and blue. It's a nice lure. I got Brad Hicks. His favorite lure is Tri-Wing white buzzbait.
Nice.
But you would have think
Buzzbait
right now it's
Brad.
a chatterbait. Yeah, you'd think it was a chatterbait though. He's killing it with chatterbaits. And I got Brandon Palmer's here. He is into the. He said Arkansas Shiner. They didn't carry that, so I got like a brownish fluke and Houdini from Zoom.
Nice.
And then last but not least, we got Scotty Scott throwing OG bait. He's got the Rapala SR7 here to shadow wrap. And it's a cool bait too.
Heck yeah,
So,
man.
and I've also got us another swim baits, some stick baits, crankbait, some crawls, and a jerk bait in here.
That's sick, man.
Cool. That's
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. So how you want to give that away, brother?
How about this? You guys put up a contest. I'm really into like photography, and I'm trying to get better at taking like more artistic, good shots.
Yeah.
And so let's see if and you guys can pick the winners. It's the winner, and the three of you can vote on it or whatever, and see who can come up with the most artistic fish shot.
Ooh,
I dig
like
it.
that.
I dig it. So we'll put up a post tomorrow morning, and how long we want to run that for? A couple days, a week? What do you think?
Let's do a week. You need a good solid week.
Week.
Yeah.
Week.
Get creative. Get creative.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Team Loveland Canoe and Kayak coming through.
Man, what big prizes.
That's huge, man.
So I appreciate you guys having me on.
I got to give you all a hug and a kiss when I get out there to Ohio.
Guess I'll be bringing a tent. Or I'll be using Josh's.
I'll bring two, Jay.
Yeah.
I'll bring two.
There you go, man. You guys heard it here. Get your most artistic photo together. Get ready to post it. We'll do it both on Facebook and Instagram, right? Because you can post photos of both. So we'll put it on both. And, yeah, we'll do it that way, man. That's huge.
You guys post if you post it on Instagram and Facebook, just tag Loveland Canoe and Kayak in the pictures too, and we'll make sure those get shared on our Facebook page or Instagram page, both Paddle and Fan and Loveland Canoe and Kayak as well. So
heck yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And if you're in a Jackson or a Blue Sky, I got connections. You may even get on the official Instagram page. So let me know about that. Get creative. Maybe I can reach out and get it shared. Absolutely.
Too funny, man. Hey, Josh, thanks for joining us for this this epic milestone in our podcast adventure here, man. And we definitely look forward to seeing you here in a couple weeks when we're out in Ohio.
Not a problem, man. I appreciate you guys having me on, and congratulations. And I look forward to hearing more episodes.
Thanks, brother. Thanks, brother. We'll have you back on definitely for a full-on outright podcast for sure.
Absolutely.
Sounds great.
All right,
you
man.
guys have a great night.
You too, brother.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
Yeah.
Man, just killing it.
Dude, that was, he reached out to me and did that all on his own. Like but that was phenomenal. He goes, hey man, let's do something. And he put that whole thing together. So shout out to Josh for that. That's
awesome.
Very humble, really nice dude that really cares about growing the sport. He's a great guy.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Why don't we, before we bring in our next two guys, or we're going to bring in Richie next, but
Mr.
Lockery, Richie Lockery. Why don't you give everybody the rundown for camping for the meetup out there in Ohio?
Absolutely.
The site number we're staying at, where the campground's at, and all that good stuff.
So I drove there today and looked around. A lot of the electric sites, electric and water hookups are all reserved even through July 4th weekend. So I went there looking at what the primitive sites were going to be, and these are actually going to benefit us tremendously because there's a ton of parking. The beach access is maybe 50 yards away from where you're going to camp. So we could beach our kayaks there. We could do demo days. I know Loveland Canoe and Kayaks going to let you demo some of our guys' kayaks while we're there. And the boat launch is 75 yards away from where you're camping. So you don't even need your truck or car. You just walk to and from the boat ramp if you have carts, and so everything's like really nice there. Fire rings, not much shade in the early morning, but in the afternoon, we're on like a tree side, so we'll have plenty of shade there. Pretty close to the little campground commissary they have there, for snacks or water or whatever you need from there. But Cowan Lake's a great fishery. I believe the sites were $28. We are reserving B01. It's a nice little grass area where we can all hang out and park our stuff there. So I would jump on that and try to reserve that as soon as possible. You don't know. People, I'm sure with July 4th weekend, they're going to be buying that stuff up. So
I'm sure that place will be popping.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a killer place. I actually tried to get through today to Reserve America to reserve it, and I couldn't get through. So tomorrow I'll be calling them to reserve our spot too. But the campground circle is the B circle, and it's tons of parking. And if you need trailer parking too, it's everything's right there. I mean, it's perfect for what we want to do. No electric, no water, but whatever, man. It's a day. I think we can do all right with that.
And I think we're gonna be grilling up some food.
Absolutely.
Right after we get off the water, and our good friends at Sweetwater Brewing, right?
Absolutely. They're hooking us up with some ice cold beer.
Nice beverages.
Yes, absolutely.
So come on out, share the water with us, and talk fishing, tell fish stories, things like that, and have an adult beverage and just have a good time, man. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Justin Marshall is asking, what site number is that?
We're at B01, so it goes B01 to like B030 or something. I mean, there's a ton of sites right there.
Yeah. So there's plenty of room for everybody. I know we got quite a few people already saying that they're going, so it should be a good turnout, man.
Oh, it's going to be a blast for sure.
Heck yeah. And like we talked about, we might have some friendly wagers thrown around. Bring some cash.
Cowan Lakes, it's a nice fishery, man. You got a diverse fishery. There's muskie, there's crappie, there's catfish, bluegill, of course, bass. It's white bass, as Brad Hicks was showing us today. They're blowing up top water.
So I saw that live video, man. That was pretty crazy.
You know what, man? How many times you go live and you're trying to catch a fish, and that dude nailed it on his first cast after he went live?
That was awesome.
Yeah, Chris is a good dude, man. Yeah, that was great.
Heck yeah, man. So, why don't we bring in Mr. Lockery, Mr. Richie Lockery?
I'm waiting for him to adjust the stuff there real quick. All right, I think he's good. Thumbs up. All right, bring him in.
Sam Jones wants to know if there's pike in there for Jay.
Oh,
look at that. Look at
that.
He ran to the bedroom and put that paddle and fin shirt on once we told him we were going to bring him on, didn't he? That's awesome, man. What's up, brother?
I've been wearing it all day, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah, speaking of weather, it's been raining here all day. I think we got 5-6 inches just today.
That's crazy, dude.
That's
crazy.
I tried to hit up Taneycomo this morning out of Rockaway, and I made it just past the little fishing pier island, and lightning went spiderweb the sky, and it's like,
yep,
nope.
I'm done.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. So how's the Moyak series going down there in Missouri?
Great. We just finished number 4 on Taneycomo last weekend. We've given or awarded, I think, almost $10,000 in cash so far this season.
Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy.
And then Brian Hillman, he caught our big bass so far this year at 22.5 inches at Taneycomo last weekend.
I think I was watching the live stream at the weigh-in for that when you guys announced that. I think I was on there watching that, and that's crazy, man. It seems like every tournament it's been getting bigger and bigger, right? For the most part.
Yeah,
for the big
like 18 and 3/4, and then a 19.5, and then a 20 1/4, and then just he whacked it out of the park.
Nice.
The best in the series was Bull Shoals 2017 at 23 inches even.
That's a big bass, man.
Wow.
That's a big
And
bass.
It's a fatty.
we were on the same point, and he was about 150 feet behind me when he caught that fish. I didn't even know it.
You should have gone.
I seen him down in his kayak, all doing the little pitcher thing, but I didn't really get a good glimpse at the size of the fish, and I'm fishing the other way away from him, so I'm not really paying attention. So I'm not seeing him hoist up this 6.5 pound fish. It was
That's crazy.
So I completely missed all of that. So I have no clue.
That's crazy, man.
Fish on the board.
Well, I've been watching you guys post all the time, like after every tournament, like AOI standings, and I keep seeing your name at the top of the list. Where are you sitting now, my man?
Number 7.
Number 7. You fell a couple spots.
I had a bad tournament at Table Rock.
Yeah,
made a bad choice.
That's all right.
Talking
You get
about-
over. Hey, man, you're coming back, bro.
So Table Rock, I had pre-fished the dam area before that tournament, and there was a Costa tournament going on. The guy that was leading it was fishing up the river, up the James River in an area that I had fished before and done good, and flipped my plan and thought I would go up the river. Well, I ended up fishing almost against that guy, and especially in one cove. I let him fish it. He caught a couple of dink fish out of it, and I didn't manage to pull any out of it. And that was a tournament that hit me hard. I think I was 24th out of 48 in that one.
Huh.
The other ones have been top 10s.
That's crazy, man. Dude,
But
you've been
the top-
crushing it though, man. I've been watching. I mean, you were up there in like what, second, third? You know, you've been steady up there in the top 10.
I had 2 6th place finishes, and I was second in points after the second tournament.
Nice.
Very
nice.
Table Rock will probably be one that scores a drop. After our second to last tournament, we'll drop your worst score, and that really changes that list.
Sure.
And then you get that last one in, and you'll probably see 10 different guys trying to run numbers to see who finished out on top.
That's crazy.
It's been fun the last 3 years we've done that.
Well,
And,
you guys have had a pretty stellar turnout, it seems like, every tournament, right? Like, what, 50 guys, 40, 50 guys?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Top 10 in AOI is separated by less than 65 points.
Oh, wow. One good finish will get you up there, man.
Yeah, we do. First is 300, second is 295, so on and so forth down. So, yeah, if you mess up bad, you can drop real fast.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I was kind of looking at that today for the KBF Central Trail Series, and I'm not even going to say anything about it, but I just hope I don't have a bad finish these next 2, so we'll see. But, I got 2 top 10 finishes. I missed Michigan, so I only got 2 of my 3 in there right now. So, but as long as I get another good one in there, I might be all right. So we'll see.
And speaking of 2 out of 3, the 3 tournaments that you have to fish for the Missouri State Championship, the ORAT, Ozark River Anglers Tournament Trail, they just finished up their 3rd tournament yesterday.
Okay.
And so far, we got 9 of their guys qualified
Oh, nice.
for our state championship.
Very cool. That's sweet.
Including one guy, because he's already fished one. He's fished I think all 4 or at least 3 of our events already, but he fishes with them too. So
Right on.
right on. And then any of the other guys on their AOI list that already have 2, if they fish another one, they can qualify for it too.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Jay, I saw you snicker there a couple minutes ago. What was that about?
I was laughing at Frankie. He's like making fun of me for not talking.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of started snickering at that too. I saw that as well. Frankie Briggs said, "Jay, you're a man of few words."
Hey, dude, I'm just here for the appeal, the beauty.
That's funny.
I don't know why we got to keep going over this. I mean, people watch this stuff because of me.
Look at that. Richie's even got a white swim bait out for you.
Oh, white? I got white.
No. Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah. This is eggshell?
White back shad?
That looks really pretty.
No, this is the brownie that I caught almost 95-inch best 5 on Memorial Day morning.
Nice.
Wow. It's a little goby-ish.
Oh yeah, it's actually, they call it brownie, but it's more of a green pumpkin, kind of silver side, translucent belly.
I like it.
But yeah, that's 20 hits and 8 fish caught.
Wow.
So has that been your go-to for the year, or?
My biggest fish at Taneycomo at the tournament was caught on that. It was an 18 3/4, but they weren't pulling water. The morning of Memorial Day, Table Rock Dam was pulling water, and it's like the TVA lakes.
Okay.
It'll pile up fish behind points and humps and stuff like that, and you kind of get the same effect on Taneycomo. And they were flowing some good water that morning, and I got I got in a spot that always seems to produce when they pull water, and first cast was the 20 1/4. Lost 2 more. Went to one with the treble hook rig, the original draft. Caught the 21 1/4. I got up to the boat. It tore the harness out of the bait and left with the hook and swivel in its mouth.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, wow.
So I went back to the weedless and just adjusted my hook set. And I started landing more fish. But so tournament time, I checked my U.S. Corps Engineers app, and they weren't pulling no water. So I didn't have really high hopes for that spot. I caught that one fish off of it, fished it for another hour and a half, and then I had to get out of there and go find some fish. Memorial Day morning, it was a 40-minute span that I got all those 20 bites. Right. I mean, sunrise in the morning.
That's crazy, dude.
I mean, 5-6 casts in a row, I got bit at one point.
Shoo.
And man, it was a hot bite. And yeah, we got Stockton coming up next. In past years we had held it earlier in the season. And it'd either be frigid cold or super flooded out. I think we're going to still have high water with all this summer rain, but it should be actually a fun shallow bite. I fished it in 2014 with the local bass club, and we fished a southwest area that's known for a lot of brush, and I was skipping a ribbit frog up in the bushes, and then just buzz it out. I probably had 30 fish that day doing that. That was a blast. So I can't wait to see if that'll be a bite that'll work for me. I do have a pre-fishing trip in the works. It's not till July 20th, so I got plenty of time to get up there and go give a little glance around and see what the areas look like with all this water.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Well, we need you to pick a winner.
Cool.
You down? You down? All right.
I've watched about or listened to about 95% of the episodes. So. Well,
we got.
I changed jobs a couple months ago, so the new ones it's quite busy, and I don't get to listen as often.
Yeah. No, we appreciate it, man. So we'll start off with this. We got Rough Life Outdoors. That's Jacob Ruff. He said that the listener roundtable was his favorite, but he's never actually listened to the episode because he didn't want to hear how dumb he sounded. But he said Drew Gregory.
Too either.
Drew Gregory episode was his second favorite because he placed second at the national championship, and he started casually listening to his podcast. We got Poker Illuminati. I really enjoyed the hot dog fishing for pike. And then we got Showin' Jay. Favorite episode was the most recent one, and that was when Ricketts came on. He said the talk about knowing your own limitations regarding flow, importance of monitoring USGS and PFDs. This was huge for him. It's his first season in a fishing kayak, and we were spot on. And I know I had a private message conversation with that gentleman, and he kind of went out in some high water and didn't necessarily know it was high water, and it just became a safety issue. And knowing about USGS flows and all that stuff, it had really helped him out, and then just PFDs in general. So, yeah, we got those three there.
I'm going to go ahead and pick that last guy now, and I'll try to keep this short. We actually did lose a couple of people last month on Local Creek. It probably due to inexperience, and probably were not prepared at all. Probably weren't even wearing life jackets. The normal flow, I heard you guys talking about flows. Normal flow for this creek is like 800 CFS.
Okay.
The day that these guys went on the water, it was 25,000.
Jesus, dude.
My God.
Come on.
I mean, water was up into the trees.
No good, man.
And they two of the three guys lost their lives. And then I had my own little experience anchoring in the current of hydroelectric dam. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Never anchor under current.
I just briefed it there now.
Yeah.
That's a $1,000 mistake.
Man.
Pick that last guy because that's a lot of important information there that some people don't even think of, and then some people there's still so many that brush off the life vest deal.
Yeah, I know you. And
sorry, I was going to say, even today I saw. I mean, they weren't under danger, but I saw so many people in kayaks. It's at this rental place, no PFDs on whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and the DNR not busted us, but gave me and Glenn some, not some flack, but he was like, "Hey, I'm glad to see you guys are wearing your vest, but we actually require that." And I'm like, "Did you not just see the guy just paddle out just now? Like, you're not enforcing anything,
right?"
You know?
Well, I know Richie and I have had conversations about, you know, I know Richie stopped like a big group of guys going out. Was that Table Rock? They weren't wearing vests and stuff?
They on Table Rock. They didn't even have them on board.
Yeah.
They were in 120 feet of water.
Yeah, dude. That's
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like a steady 20-mile-an-hour wind that they were trying to paddle into.
Jesus, dude.
I'm like, y'all just need to turn around and go back and get them vests. And I researched it. It's $165 to be caught without one on the water. Yep.
What did he say today? I think he said it was like there's $125.
Not enough.
Because I mean, I've never been ticketed for it or anything. I'm like, I don't know. You know,
I'm always
he
wearing
told us today. Yeah, I don't know what it's like to not be without it.
So we didn't say what we were going to give that gentleman.
No, you didn't.
What do we want to do? We got another $25 gift card to Tackle Warehouse. We got some hammered lures that I'm purchasing. We got another pair of Coyote sunglasses.
Got some Fish Mob buzzbaits too.
Oh, we got some Fish Mob buzzbaits too. Let's let Richie pick.
Can we do a combo?
Sure.
Why not?
See, you know, this guy.
Who invited you on this podcast anyways? What's
How
the
about
combo?
them buzzbaits and the TW gift card?
Glasses and a Tackle Warehouse gift card. I like it.
The
The
buzzbaits.
buzzbait.
Oh, the buzzbaits. All right.
Yeah.
So sunglasses and buzzbaits.
Or worth more because you had the sunglasses thrown in there.
All right. Coyote sunglasses and some Fish Mob lures, buzzbaits.
I like it.
I like it. Hey, Richie, man, real quick, man, plug next tournament for Missouri and where guys can find info if they want to come out to the Moyak Series.
July 20th, Stockton Lake, Missouri. Moyak Fishing Series.org. Is it org now? .com. Sorry, we used to be org. Missouri Moyak Fishing Series.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Instagram is Moyak Fishing. There's the group. There's the page on Facebook. Always open and add people.
Awesome, man.
25 membership. 30 anglers or more, we guarantee $1,000 for first place.
That's awesome. So. Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Well, Richie, man, it's always a pleasure talking to you, brother. Thanks for coming on with us tonight, and good luck in that AOI race, man. Go get them.
Yeah. Gotta keep your chin up.
Yeah, buddy. You'll get them, man. You'll get them, brother. You'll get them. All right, man. We'll see you next time, bro. Take it easy.
All right, Richie.
Right on. Right on.
Oh yeah.
So we got a big announcement, man, and we haven't even prefaced this yet.
Nope.
We've been holding this one secret, and I think just adding Mr. Ricketts on as a co-host to the podcast was a mind blower for a lot of people. I know a lot of people thought it was a lot different, that I was getting put on the Blue Sky team and stuff like that, but this one here is nobody's expecting this, so this is going to really throw you guys off. And this leads into our next two guests. So, without further ado, we're going to bring on Mr. Brad Hicks and Mr. John Graves. Get ready. Bring them in. They've been sitting in the lobby waiting.
Bring him in.
Bring them in. There's Mr. Hicks. Where's the other one? Where's Mr. Graves?
John, one of us is going to have to bump out because I can only do 4 at a time.
Well,
let's do Brad, and then we'll bring Johnny next.
Yeah, why don't we do that? We'll do Brad first and then John last, and then we'll kind of go from there. Welcome, Mr. Hicks, to your first Paddle and Fin podcast.
What's up, man?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Sorry we're running a little late here this evening. I know you're an hour ahead of us.
Yeah, dude, I'm freaking beat.
Yeah, I bet. Well, you've been on the water all day chasing white bass when you should have been chasing largemouth for the damn tournament you were fishing in.
It was worth it. I don't even care. That was awesome.
Yeah. That's a good time, man. If you guys have heard us previously talk about Mr. Hicks and the Yak Legion podcast and all that good stuff, So recently, Mr. Randall and Mr. Ricketts and I had a little paddle and fin powwow. And what we want to do for you guys, the listeners, is bring you more content this year. So, dun dun dun. Drum roll, please. Mr. Hicks and Mr. John Graves are going to do a separate podcast for you folks that is going to air once every other week starting off, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right here on the Paddle and Fin podcast. And it's going to be based around tournament recaps. They're going to have some guests on, winners of previous tournaments from around the nation. This is pretty much going to be brought to you by Michigan, Ohio kayak anglers, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Ricketts.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, man. So I got to say, you sent a message. I got to find this message. But you sent a message about, how, Paddle and Fin has kind of taught you a lot, inspired you to start Yak Legion podcast with your buddy Zach Carell. And, it was pretty heavy hitting little message you dropped down there on us, man. But you also said Mr. Ricketts was your favorite podcast.
Making me blush.
I don't even remember that.
Hey, bro. Your nose is a little brown, just saying.
Yeah. He's like,
But,
drinking.
I'll wipe it off a little bit.
Yeah. But you said your favorite episode was probably the roundtable because there was so much info about becoming part of a team, and it inspired you to give it a try. And I know you had said that that was the way you found us because your good friend, Mr. Justin Marshall, was on the podcast and on that roundtable. And I can't thank Justin enough. He really spread some love around the Ohio scene for us from being on that episode. Super cool, friendly dude, and I can't thank him enough. But it was just cool to hear your story, and you and I have interacted quite a bit through conversation and stuff, and the three of us got together and kind of had this idea of bringing more content. We want to turn Paddle and Fin from the single podcast into like the kayak fishing network. So we want to pump out content for the listeners, and the revolving theme around tonight being 1 year into this is everybody's learning, everybody's taking something away from everybody else, and that was the whole point of starting this podcast. So it's huge to see that come to fruition. The ultimate goal that me and the Godfather, which, by the way, he was supposed to be on this evening, but he had a family party that he had to attend to. So he said, tell everybody I send him my love and congrats on the 1 year, and he's looking forward to the future. So just wanted to throw that out there. But, what was your first initial thought? Because I know I toyed with you a little bit, and what a lot of I think listeners don't know is I'm kind of the jokester in the group here. I like to play with you guys like it's cat with a ball of yarn, switching it back and forth. I mean, what was your initial thought when we approached you to, joining up with the team and jumping on here and running another show with Mr. Graves?
Dude, I knew something was up because you were acting a little weird. I was like, I don't know. It was weird. It all happened real fast because I was talking to Jason earlier that day about all the other stuff going on. And
sure.
Then I started talking to you about it, and you're like, hey, I got something to run by you. I was just like, what?
Something.
Yeah.
It can't be another co-host. 4 is too many people.
Yeah.
I was so surprised.
Yeah.
I love the idea. I think the idea is awesome. We're going to be
yeah.
giving a lot of love and a lot of recaps, and I think you and old Crankbait Johnny are going to make awesome host, with the show and stuff. So I'm looking forward. I'm personally really looking forward to it.
Yeah, me and him's been talking a little bit about it, so we're trying to get a game plan together, get a name and everything, So
yeah. So we're thinking your guys' episode will go up on like Thursday or Friday, so that way we're not, the pods aren't stacked on top of each other, but we're producing more content. But that was one thing. We kind of dug, and then Michigan, Ohio had asked us to do that, and I meant to ask Richie, and I'm going to ask Richie, that he sends in the Moyak series results, and we can get them involved in that as well. So, yeah, it's super cool, man. And the one thing that kind of targeted my mind is the way you present yourself on the Yak Legion podcast, which is great, and you always come up with great questions and questions that I think listeners want to know, so to speak. And I think it's going to be great, and we're looking forward to this next year. So I know you've already been messaging me a little bit, and you got some guests and stuff in mind that you want to get in there. I don't know if you've talked to anybody yet, or if you want to release anything, but now is the time.
I haven't talked to anybody, but I know I fished in a tournament today and for the Cincinnati kayak fishing trail, and I kind of want to talk to Jacob Ice. Dude is a freaking stick out of Columbus, Ohio. He caught a 22.5-inch bass today in our tournament.
I logged on to Tourney X because I knew you were fishing, and you sent a message out to the group that you were sitting in fourth or something.
Yeah, actually, I was second.
That's what it was.
One time, and then I didn't get to call the rest of the day. So,
what was your biggest fish today?
16.
16. Wow.
Yeah,
that's big for Ohio, ain't it? Well, 22 is big. That's a once in a lifetime fish in Ohio, ain't it?
Yeah. The crazy thing is, he's in the KBF monthly for Ohio, and the dude is in first place with 102 inches.
Wow.
I think second place is 90 something inches, 90.5 or something. So he's just killing it right now.
Nuts.
Did you post a picture of that on Facebook? Your biggest fish?
Mine? Yeah. One of them. I don't remember which one it is.
Can you guys see that?
Nah. Oh yeah, I can kind of make it out.
Yeah, a little bright.
Go to your social so people can go and follow you, Mr. Hicks.
At Brad Hicks Fishing at BRADHIX FASHING.
Nice. I dig it.
We're gonna go ahead and bump John Graves up too. I want to talk to these guys together, and then we'll bring Jay right back on as well.
Mr. Randall.
After this, yeah.
Okay.
Hang tight. All right, everybody.
There he is, Crankbait Johnny, coming after you.
Johnny.
Hey, I've been waiting out in the lobby here for you guys, and you got to restock your vending machine. The only thing left in there is yum dingers and zingers.
Hey, don't worry, I'll munch them zingers up in a heartbeat, bro.
Oh man.
Hey guys, how are you, man?
Good, man. Yourself? Welcome to the show. So, we were talking to Brad. I'm sure you heard in the lobby, but what are you looking forward to coming out of this next episode, my man, or this next section to the Paddle and Fin podcast, so to speak?
Well, absolutely anything I can do to learn more about kayak fishing. I'm way into that. The podcasts are just an amazing way to do whatever you do during the day, and you can just soak all this stuff in the background. So the podcast is, I'm 55 years old, so all this technology.
Hey,
really,
Johnny, you're 55 years young, brother.
Absolutely.
Halfway to 110, as they say.
Hey, you're halfway there, brother.
It's the best. I feel it's just a good part of my life, and I'm absolutely excited about it. But the kayak has been a whole new transition for me, and If there was a podcast about mountain bike racing and ultramarathon running a long time ago, I would have dug that. But so listening to the podcast and getting together with a bunch of new guys and finding out these new places to go fishing has just been an absolute charm. I love it. So the more the merrier, and this is going to be exciting. Keeps me on my toes. So I have to, see what's out there and always investigate and get involved as much as I possibly can. It's I need that at my age.
Sure, man. Sure.
Well, you're an absolute ambassador for the sport, and you follow a lot of stuff. That's why it was kind of a no-brainer when we were trying to discuss and talk about who would be the one to bring on. We ended that conversation. I called right back. I was like, "It's Johnny Graves. I got the guy," because you do follow a lot what's going on. You're passionate. You have your own podcast, which you do real well with.
Yeah,
and a lot of people in the area, and you are hands down definitely an ambassador for the sport. So I feel lucky to know you.
Well, thank you.
And honestly, I don't remember how we met. If I'm going to be honest, I know we're pretty good buddies now, but I don't even remember how you and I met.
I think we touched base online, and then we got together, over there at your event.
That's right. Loveland. Yep, that's right. Absolutely. Yep.
Fantastic event. You really thought, what I really enjoyed most about that event is that going to all of these other kayak bass fishing tournaments, you completely thought outside of the box because you've never really fished in that type of a tournament before. And I thought the way that you put that together was completely thinking outside of the box. And I think
thank you.
Reason. So I enjoyed it. It was one of my favorite tournaments that I've been to. It probably would have been a little bit more fun to have the river opened up, but I'm very familiar with the lake you chose.
Hey, that was one of my favorite tournaments too.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Man, you guys' nose is brown tonight. Brown.
No, I just said that because I won that tournament.
Yeah, you did win that tournament, which was awesome, man. And then you decided to tell me you hated that lake, and I'm like, how can you hate a lake you won a tournament on?
I'm just saying that because I want to. I don't even know. I'm just trying to throw you off a little bit.
It's all right. It's all right. That's because we got a side wager going on, at the meetup. But
I guess I'm trying to hustle you a little bit.
Yeah, I see how it is. I see how it is.
Let me go ahead and bring Jay back in real quick. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I'll bump out for a sec.
Well, I added you back in on accident. Hang on.
We don't want that guy. Come on.
All right, there we go. All right, Johnny, you have a pretty good backstory, man. Give us a little bit about your background because I found it really interesting when we chatted at your house at one time. You showed me everything, and you were talking just how you got into kayak fishing in general.
Is this is this a family show?
Let's keep it as clean as possible.
How did I get into kayak fishing? That's a good start, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
I can't really ever consider myself a fisherman. It's something my family just never did. We were outdoor people. We did some hunting, but I didn't start fishing until really we moved here and to Milford at this place that we have called the Rock and Star Ranch. And right in front of me, 53 steps away from me, is probably the best bass fishing in Claremont County. And it's just a pond here. And it's I've done some fishing, cane pole fishing, pond fishing down at our farm. I grew up in Ewan County, Kentucky, but nothing to the extent of what fishing is out there. But I did religiously watch Bill dance on Saturdays, even though I didn't fish. But it came back to I'm still reflecting back on those Bill dance shows and going, wow, that guy was teaching me stuff that I'm now using. Like one of my favorite things he says is, if you're willing to tie on a lure, take the time to learn that lure. And I think about that every single day when I'm out there fishing. And this is something I learned when I was, like 11, watching Miller Highlight Bass Championship. So that's really my background on fishing. I started just getting a rod and tossing it out here on the pond. I had a Eagle Claw feather light. They don't even make them anymore, I'm sure. I bought this when I was 14 years old from Kmart Sporting Goods in Cherry Grove, Ohio.
Wow.
And this thing, you could barely set the hook on anything. And if you did, all you were really doing was holding that lure in the fish's mouth and hoping that it would hold onto it. And I was just catching bass out of this pond every day with rod reel combo. And we had hired a construction, like a general contractor, do some work here. And he noticed that I was struggling out there setting the hook. Well, this guy, Lane Bull is his name, was a bass tournament fisherman, and he asked me to go out co-angling with him, and did that route for about every Thursday for a couple months in a tournament with him right up at Rocky Fork Lake, and it was an absolutely eye-opening experience. At that time, I was starting to realize that I wasn't going to participate in a sport that I've been doing for almost 40 years, and that was ultramarathon running and ultramarathon cycling. I've been out of it a little bit for the past 10 years or so, but it's always been a mainstay of my spiritual life, my athletic life, and just with the hips and the knees that I got nowadays, I'm just not able to do that type of a sport. It's a very demanding type of a sport. So what was I going to have to replace that? And fishing came along, and my buddy invited me out on his boat, and I started to fall in love with it. This guy was buying Skeeter boats one after another, and they progressively got more expensive, up to the point where he's spending tens of thousands of dollars on this boat. So I'm looking online for boats because I want to start fishing. Well, I can't spend that kind of money. So my significant other just said, hey, why don't you Google bicycle powered kayaks? And I did. And the Wilderness System 135 radar came up. And right underneath that was a picture of an old mountain bike racing buddy of mine by the name of Kurt Smits. And I'm scratching my head going, man, this guy looks familiar, but he was holding this big check for like $42,000. And it said, kayak bass fishing national champion 2017. And I'm like, they actually have a kayak bass fishing champion. And Kurt Smith actually is a champion of this kayak bass fishing thing. And I'm like, this sounds interesting. So I started looking into that and realized that for, a couple $1,000, I can go out and get a really nice kayak start out with. And, that would be the maintenance cost or the fuel cost on a power boat throughout your whole year. So I thought, wow, this might be nice, and let's get into that. I didn't realize how big it was, though. Went down to RRT in Milford, Ohio, and bought a Wilderness System kayak right off the floor there. And it's literally it's changed my life. I mean, it's absolutely been a sport that just is incredibly like ultramarathon running and cycling. We all start in early morning. We're all saying hi to each other. But when the race starts, we all disappear.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And we see each other until the meeting afterwards. That's exactly what went on with the ultramarathon events. And I really kind of dig that community that's around that. And there's not much difference between the kayak angling community and the mountain bike racing community of the 90s. So I feel really comfortable in this sport. I absolutely fell in love with it, and I hope I got another 50 years in me.
So the name Crankbait Johnny, where'd that come from?
You?
He's like you.
I love that.
I didn't know
name.
where it came from either.
No, I'm not sure where that came from. I went down Lake Chickamauga, without a doubt, is one of my favorite fishing holes. And our beloved grandchildren live down there. So I have the opportunity to go stay in Cleveland, Tennessee, and I'm only 22 minutes away from Lake Chickamauga. And it wasn't until I started hanging out with those Tennessee guys down there and realized how many crankbaits they throw. And to be honest with you, I didn't have a crankbait in my tackle box. All I did was soft lures, and the majority of that was a 6-inch watermelon seed lizard. That was it. And I caught fish with it, but that's really all I used. So I went out and got some crankbaits, and they were kind of working, but you're picking up nothing but just junk here in Ohio, it seems like. So I put them back in the tackle box. Went to 4 inches of snow on the ground, went to a Lawrenceburg, Indiana fishing trade show out there, and met a gentleman by the name of Kevin Frazier, and he custom made crankbaits. And he was the only one left open. Everybody else was hauling butt to get out of there before the bigger snow came. And he still had all of his stuff set up. And I only had $10. And he was selling $8 lures. So I bought one. And I brought that lure back. I got in my first tournament this year. And in that first tournament, qualified for the national championship in 2020 using that crankbait. At Cowan Lake. So I just kept using the crankbaits. And then American Tackle came out with the Bushido square bill crankbaits. I ordered all of them, and I'm catching fish on the banks, bombing it like Normandy, and I'm catching more fish than I ever have. So
Right on.
I think just by using a lot of crankbaits, that's where that name came from. But
well, we like it. I think it's a fitting name. I think it's a cool name, you know. So we got Brad the Stick Hicks over there. We got Crankbait Johnny. You guys are gonna have your own show doing tournament recaps. I love it. I think it's great. We're excited to have you on, and we're gonna start pumping those episodes out soon. So everybody tune in for that.
It's gonna be fun, man.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and get Brian back in here, fellas. It was a pleasure. We're going to follow up with you guys soon. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for being part of Paddle and Fin, and we'll holler at you soon, okay?
Hey, thank you. We'll see
Thank
you.
you.
All right, guys, take it easy.
All right, we'll get Brian back up in here. We'll wrap it up.
Boom. I'm super excited to have those guys on, man. Both of them, and just hearing their backstories and everything. And, old Crankbait Johnny, I'm excited to meet him when we come out to Ohio. And
super nice guy, man.
I'm super ecstatic for Mr. Hicks too, man, to see how far up he's come in such a short time. And I know he talks to me all the time, and he's just like, man, my mind is blown on like how fast this has come around for me. And I said, hey, man, just keep doing what you're doing, so it's great.
Hard work pays off.
Yeah,
Brad's another true ambassador of the sport too, man. And he reps Loveland real good, and he reps Bonafide real good, real well. And we're proud to have him too.
Bonafide. So, anyways,
I didn't know what you were pointing at. I'm like, what?
All I see is a name above your head. Thank God.
Yeah, the camera kind of squared on my face, but that's fine. What we need to do is we got a couple more giveaways, man. And you made the post, Mr. Ricketts, about the fish pictures. So why don't you pick one from there?
Absolutely.
And then we'll have Mr. Randall pick one. What are we going to do for the fish pictures?
What's our leftover?
We got a $25 Tackle Warehouse, hammered lures, and a pair of sunglasses, I think.
I think that we need to give away them hammered lures.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's get on here. And you guys really posted a lot of pictures on that Facebook page. We have 43 different comments, and they were all awesome. Let me scroll through here and look.
So for Jay, we got Jack Fisher Fishing. Drew Gregory episode was his favorite. We got your boy toy, Mr. Todd Phillips. He said it's not fair to have to pick only one episode. Every episode is built and helped the kayak fishing community so they equally rock. Although it would be biased to say the listener roundtable because I got to be on it, I think the first interview with Jay Randall would have to be his pick. He's come a long way since he was ever on. Seems like you and Brian have had a natural talent for it since the beginning. Love you guys and can't wait to fish with you again. And then there was one more on Facebook.
I got it. I got my picture. It's one I absolutely love and one we can absolutely relate to every single day. He's scrolling down through. Oh, now it's
Yeah, go for it.
all right. So Lance Burris, you posted this picture of
Yeah.
flipping off of the catchboard, and I started cracking up. I'm like, I cannot tell you how many times that happened, and that just hit home. And I think it hits home for a lot of people. So, you're going to be the winner of the lures. So congratulations on that. Send us a message. We'll get those out to you.
Trying to think what the other one was, man. Can't find it.
There are some great pictures. You guys need to scroll down through there, man. Some huge pike and muskie.
Just great pictures, great comments from everybody, man. It's just, like we always say, man, it's just, it's unbelievable to hear everybody's feedback and how much everybody enjoys the show and, how far it's come. So,
Absolutely.
Can't.
We need to tag him, Lance Burris, so he knows that he won something.
So there you go. I think that's the last two comments, or we can do any of the other previous ones as well. So,
Jay,
I think I picked the winner already.
who's it going to be?
The one guy who liked the Drew Gregory cat.
Jack Fisher Fishing?
Jack Fisher, yep.
And what are we giving him? Tackle Warehouse?
Yeah, getting tackle warehouse one.
Beauty. It's awesome, man. Yeah. We gave a lot of stuff away this evening. Had a lot of guests on, man. It was a long show for sure, man. But looking forward to many, many, many more. So
absolutely more.
Let's Jay, what was your favorite episode?
I would have to say mine. No. It's hard to say. I'm a big fan of Drew's. I like that one with Drew. It was cool. I mean, because I've known him, for a little bit now, and it was kind of cool to kind of dig in a little more and let you to get to ask some of your questions you want to do.
I was like fanboy drooling over that one, but
I just kind of took a couple steps back.
I'll be the first to admit it. Drew's a guy I've looked up to, JD especially.
JD's an awesome
shout
guy.
out to JD for coming on again, man. He's another guy. Those two guys right there, man. I definitely look up to in the kayak fishing community for sure. How about you, Mr. Ricketts?
I like the one with Christine, actually.
Okay.
I love the fact that there's a lot of female anglers that are getting to the sport and that they're not getting left out. And I think that she's a true ambassador. And
yeah, man.
I think that she had a lot of good things to say and presented herself well. And we're gonna be getting a lot of more female anglers on the podcast too, and let them talk about their experiences in it. Yeah,
next
that one.
Very next podcast after this one airs is going to be Susie Roloff.
Oh yeah.
She's a stick as well. She's from Central Illinois. She's part of the Great Lakes Kayak Fishing Series. She's part of the KBL. She was the tournament director up there for the KBF Madison event. So we're looking forward to talking to her. And that's the thing, man. There's not enough women in the sport, and people like Christine and Susie are stepping up and showing ladies that they're not discounted. They have a space
Absolutely.
in the kayak fishing community, which is awesome.
Not only a space, but they're dominating. I mean, she's whooping.
She won what, Hobie Bass Open, and then went straight to KBF on what was that, Gunnersville, and took first place there.
Yep. So,
or was it Gunnersville or Chickamauga? Who was one of the two? I don't know. Those two are right there. They're big popular lakes. But I'm going to have to say my favorite episode was Maiden Voyage. That was the very first episode. That was how this whole thing started. And it's funny, man. Like this past week, I've gone through and listened to all these episodes because I really wasn't sure. And, it's crazy. You can listen to the way me and Scott are talking, and we're both like super nervous. We don't know what to say, what's right, what's wrong. And then I've listened to the huge announcement episode as well, just recently. And to hear what it was at the start and hear what it's become, all the new things moving forward here in the near future, and what we've accomplished and what's to come as well. It's mind-blowing, man. Like I never thought it would have came this far. And Scott and I fished with Scott last night, and I guess we haven't done any campfire stories lately, so I'll share that to end this episode, because that was something me and Scotty started back in the day. But we fished together last night, and we sat and talked last night for a good 3 or 4 hours, and kind of bummed he didn't make it on tonight. But like he told me last night, he's like, I don't know, man, it's going to be a rough one, just because he had some family engagements going on this evening. But, we talked about, the podcast and, whether or not his decision to leave the show was the right thing, and where the show is heading, what I've done with the show, what Jay's done with the show, what Mr. Ricketts has already brought to the show, and where it's going. It's just super exciting. And, not only that, but the way it's made me become a better fisherman, just, chatting with everybody, fishing with guys like Jay, things like that. And it's just, I don't know, man. If you would have told me a year ago that I'd be fishing the KBF Central Trail Series and the Pro Series, and I'd have two top 10 finishes in the trail, a second place in the Pro, and a fourth place, I told you're out of your freaking mind. Like, there's no freaking way. Just because there's some sticks in this game we call kayak fishing, and I credit a lot of that to our guests, our listeners, my co-hosts, Scott, and so many other people. It's just unbelievable. So I guess that's my way of saying thank you to all you guys for the support. Not only the listeners, but the both of you, Scotty Olson, aka the Godfather, and, all that good stuff, man. It's super humbling. I know I'm the only guy on here that's been here since day one, but it's crazy to see where it's come. And I'm not trying to ramble, but it's just like I'm trying to wrap my mind around it. And coming up to this week, I'm like, man, a year, like that's a huge little milestone, And I looked earlier this evening, and I'm going to look again right now. But the amount of plays and downloads we've got, it was 15,278 plays as of earlier this evening, which is just absolutely bonkers, So, little podcast, it took us a long time to get over that hump, and then it just keeps going like this. So, looking forward to many more. Looking forward to the new changes and everything like that. So thank you everyone. Super humbling and super cool, man. So boom.
Yeah, ditto on that. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah,
Thanks for the support.
yeah, absolutely, man. So let's end this off. Recycling plastics program, you guys. Hammered Lures. It'll be in the show notes on the podcast. We'll post it in the comments here as well. Throughout the fishing season, save all your used plastic baits. Ship them to that address. Our good friend Eric Richards at Hammered Lures is going to melt those down, make new baits, donate them to Heroes on the Water. Good cause. If you guys are new, I know we got some new names and stuff showing up in the chat this evening. We have new episodes that air every Tuesday. We're on 11 different podcast platforms like Anchor, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor Podcasts, Stitcher, Podbean, you name it, we're on it. Just search Paddle, the letter N, and Fin. And we got to send a huge shout out to our sponsors, giveaway stuff. Huge shout out to Rocktown Adventures, Loveland Canoe and Kayak, Coyote Sunglasses, Hammered Lures for his amazing support in this recycling program that we started with him. Who am I forgetting? Fish Mob Lures, Mr. J. Randall.
Michigan, Ohio Kayak Fishing Trail.
Michigan, Ohio Kayak Fishing Trail, Sweetwater Brewing Company.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's cool. I told my wife, I was like, we got a beer sponsor. And she's like, what?
Yeah.
Sweetwater Brewery.
Best thing I've ever heard.
She's like, you don't even drink. And I'm like, yeah, well, guess I'm going to start drinking again.
now it's a requirement.
Yeah, right. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to enjoying a few cold beverages with everybody at the meetup. Who am I forgetting, man? I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Paddle and Fin podcast. We support ourselves.
Yeah.
And our biggest sponsors is the fans. So
Absolutely.
without them, we couldn't have put this show together tonight, have the guests we have, had the giveaway prizes that we had. So, yeah, much appreciated, man. You guys got anything else to add on this milestone here this evening?
No, that's it.
No, sir.
All right, guys. Till next time, tight lines and smooth paddling. Boom.